CMPRadio.net. It's the station.
CMPRadio.net. It's the station. Listen, man, let's cultivate together. Bring us all your show ideas. Content creators, we're looking for that. Videographers, we're looking for that. You can be a part of the next great big thing that takes place right here in Chester, Pennsylvania. Let's cultivate together, man.
CMPRadio.net. It's the station.
Shit. Scuds and Maserati. Ha. I'm giving them hope. You giving them hell. You fill it with pride. Then you send them to jail. I'll give them a dream, I said, and you'll never fail. Just don't ever lie. And don't ever tell. I'm giving them hope. You giving them hell. You fill it with pride. Then you send them to jail. I'll give them a dream, I said, and you'll never fail. Just don't ever lie. And don't ever tell. Put it in your pocket before they come and pocket you, nigga. That's when they sit you on your pocket with a Glock to you, nigga. He ran out of time, ain't make it to the hospital, nigga. His body cold, the stick inside him. He a popsicle, nigga. It always be the ones like guns, you know I got you, my nigga. That fuck around and rock you, and I ain't talking fossils, my nigga. They fuck around and pop you, and I ain't talking sock you, my nigga. I'm talking blood up on the floor, they gotta mop you, my nigga. I'm from a city where it's 2 schools, one you gotta go. Imagine if you had a funeral and don't nobody show it, gotta hurt. Even when you die, your baby mama heard you dead, she ain't even cry. Now who gon' raise your son? They ain't gon' teach him how to read, but how to raise a gun. They got him standing on the corner in the blazing sun. You know, when it's summertime, the Lord is taking some. It might just be your family that he taking I'm from. I'm giving them hope, you giving them hell. You fill it with pride, then you send them to jail. I'll give them a dream, I said, and you'll never fail. Just don't ever lie, and don't ever tell. I'm giving them hope, you giving them hell. You fill it with pride, then you send them to jail. I'll give them a dream, I said, and you'll never fail. Just don't ever lie, and don't ever tell. Yeah, I'm giving them hope, they said I would fail. Whoever thought they see a nigga prevail, they probably rather see me down bad, how bad, 6 feet or sitting in cells. I'm pivoting well, like I'm MB, ran a rim, please give him the pill. Shit so vivid, it could give him the chill. I ain't talking, I done did it for real. Never roll with a squad, a nigga scrawny nigga, but I've been a problem, nigga. If I spot him, then I'm on him, little shorty with the big 40, spinning corners with it. Had the boss up so I could part niggas. How they co-signing corny niggas, fuck your top 5, it's the top spot, not mine. I bomb on all them niggas. I'm giving them like Jews that can sit with them right moves and envision and put you in the right place, right time, link with the right dudes. Now you getting it from $1 in a dream of flying out to see if the price.
What's up, everybody, man? CMPRadio.net, man. This is the Cultivating Mature Positivity podcast. I know. Usually it's the morning meeting, but this morning our good friend OGGO is feeling a little bit under the weather, so I want to give a big shout out to him, man. Tell him to recuperate as soon as possible. But until then, you know, we'll continue to do this, right? This is the Cultivating Mature Positivity. I've been playing with this joint for a minute, bro. Like, you know, just not knowing what direction I want to go in, how I want to talk to the people, right? So, you know, shit, it was like, get it done or get off the pot. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so here we are, man. This is the Cultivating Mature Positivity with Uncle P podcast, man. We're going to be talking to different people. We're going to be interviewing people. We're going to be working. We're going to be working. But today I was just like, all right, man, I'm going to go live for an hour and talk about what's going on in the community, what's going on in the world. And, yeah, man, that's what we're doing. So I want y'all to sit back with me, man. Talk to me on Facebook. I can see your comments. Anything that you want to talk about, I'm an open book, bro. Like, I ain't going to bullshit you. But we're going to talk about, what we going to talk about first? We're going to talk about, all right, so, you know, definitely want to give a rest in peace to, you know, Sidney Poitier, right? Legendary Hollywood actor and filmmaker. You know, Sidney Poitier passed away at age 94. My father loved this guy, right? Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, you know, To Sir with Love. The movies that my father had me watching spoke to the time that he lived in and also the time that we still live in today, where we're not treated equally, right? Where we're treated as second-class citizens, right? But in that movie, it was always, to give respect is to get respect. Understand what I'm saying? To give respect is to get respect. Even when you feel like people are being disrespectful and playing you sweet or lying to you, you still give respect, right? Because at the end of the day, the other people around you see that. They don't see it as a weakness. They see it as respect, and you get respect, right? So Sidney Poitier passed away, man. R.I.P. to Sidney Poitier. Also another, I'm not going to say another. I'm going to say Bob Saget. Bob Saget is a comedian. He did what was that, Full House? Yeah, it was Full House. He was on Full House. He did America's Funniest Videos. He passed away at age 65. He was found in his hotel room, unresponsive, no drugs, no foul play, nothing like that. It was just, I guess, his time. So, definitely want to give a major RIP out to those two people right there. And yeah, man, today's show is about this whole station is about not working with emotions. Do not work with emotions. Emotions make you useless. Emotions make you easy to manipulate, right? Don't work with emotions, right? Work on logic. You feel me? Give people the energy that you want to receive back to yourself, man. I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors, man. I know I didn't do that this morning during the show. I want to give a huge shout out to Mecca, Mind Our Own Businesses, KC Electric Services, LeBron Construction, Northern Marketing, Pressure Inc., Nerds Family Kitchen, and Inspire Clothing Brand. Again, man, this is family, your family. Let's use our family. Black businesses in the area. If you want to promote, if you want to support, right, hit us up, cmpradio.net, info@cmpradio.net. You could be a supporter. Also, GoFundMe is still up. You feel me? I know it's Christmas. I know it's hard, right, to find the dollars, but anything counts. $1, $2, $3, anything counts. I appreciate you. Good looking out. Yeah, so let's get into this news, man. We have a mother in Texas, right? So we know COVID is big. The fear of COVID is big. How far would a mother go to make sure she doesn't catch COVID from her son? Well, this mother, a Texas mother, faces criminal charges after she allegedly stuffed her 13-year-old son in the trunk of her car because he tested positive for COVID-19. She did not want to get exposed, authorities said. So if he already tested positive, why would you stuff him in a trunk and then take him to another place to get another test? Are you trying to see if he was tested negative now? Right. So she stuffed him in the trunk. So Sarah Beam, 41, allegedly packed her son and took him to a drive-through coronavirus testing center in Houston on January 3rd, according to local outlet KPCR. Witnesses reported hearing noises coming from the back of Beam's vehicle when she pulled up to the tent testing center in Ken Pridgeton Stadium, right? According to court documents obtained by the outlet, Bevan Gordon, the health services director at the site, asked Beam to open the trunk, revealing the teenager lying down inside. Beam, who has worked as a teacher, she has worked as a teacher in the Cypress Fairbanks Independent School District since 2011, explained she was trying to keep her son isolated. The mother stated that she put her son inside the trunk to prevent her from getting exposed to possible COVID while driving him to the stadium for additional testing. Gordon told Beam that she and her son would not be tested until the team was removed from the trunk and seated in the back of the car. He then called police. Authorities say the 13-year-old was not harmed when he was discovered inside the trunk of the car at the COVID testing site. The school district runs the testing site and has its own police department which investigated the incident. Cops said the child was not harmed. Surveillance footage of the testing site showed Beam opening the trunk door and her son climbing out. Wow. How far do we go to protect ourselves from COVID? If you have it, well, where's the mother now? Oh, she's locked up, right? She's locked up. The Cypress Fairbanks ISD Police Department issued a warrant for Beam's arrest Friday on child endangerment charges. Beam most likely worked as a teacher at Cypress Cypress Falls High School. She has been placed on administrative leave. How long and how far do we go to protect us from COVID? If your kids got it, you got it. Literally, right? Whatever you have, your kids have. So if your kid has COVID and you're locking your kid up to keep yourself from catching COVID, eventually you're going to get it. So just go ahead and get it and just bear with it, man. Drink plenty of fluids and keep yourself hydrated. Gatorade works. Gatorade and all that good stuff. And listen, we have a big thing going on in the country, right? We have progressive DAs, defund the police, Black Lives Matter, and all these people. We have a DA that was hired in Manhattan, and he's a progressive DA. Now what is a progressive DA? A progressive DA is a DA that does not want to prosecute crimes or sees higher crimes, which is crazy for me personally. Sees violent crimes, because we have three. We have the Philly DA, Larry Krasner, right? And we understand everything that's happened in Philly, right? 521, this is what this article says, 521 homicides this year, right? Which is a record the most since 1960, right? Which is a lot of people. 521 homicides. Larry Krasner says we're not facing a crisis of murders. Then he and his white wokeness must go, right? So we talk about this all the time, right? After George Floyd was killed, we had a lot of people talking about defunding the police and the militarization of the police, and how the police are used in our community are different from how they're used in other communities, right? And we understand that, we get it, right? For so long we were the worst, right? Hillary Clinton said we were extraordinary, well, not extraordinary, but we were hunters. We were people that didn't care. But that's because no one came in and asked us what was going on, right? A lot of us, we sold drugs, we played in the streets, and a lot of us weren't violent people. But we do have violent people in the middle. So we have progressive DA in Manhattan, right? Alvin Bragg is his name, and he's paving the way for bigger bloodbath. Serious crimes may be reduced to misdemeanors, and murder sentences can be capped at 20 years. 20 years, right? The Manhattan District Attorney's Office is considered the premier local law enforcement job in the nation. And it was home to the legendary mob busting Thomas Dewey, who was a Republican candidate for president twice. Two iconic DA followed him after that, Frank Hogan and Robert Morgenthau, for even longer, 35 years. Alvin Bragg stomping for the DA. 2021, he won, right? Bang, he's in there. So what he wants to do is reduce the way we look at violent crimes, right? And this is not just him. Super predators. Thank you, Chef Lamont. Super predators, right? This is not just him, right? And for me, I personally believe, right, and this is just me, that if you allow a violent person off, they're just going to get more violent. Right, you can't let them off. You shouldn't reduce it to a misdemeanor. Right now, nonviolent offenders, drug dealers, prostitutes, right? People that are doing things just for money. Just for money. You're doing what you're doing just for money, to me, are the people you should be looking at. The violent offenders, the people that use guns and rob people and shoot people and hurt people, that time don't need to change. Right? You can reduce what you're doing to the nonviolent offenders, right? And put them in a category and say, all right, they need help. They might need to go to drug rehab. They might need to talk to some people about finding a job or different things like this. And this is what Jack Stolzheimer is doing in the DA's office, right? He hired me, right? He's working with the Chester Police Department to make the police department more accountable to the community policing, right? So it's different ways you can go about changing the laws that are around us, and you don't have to start by doing this. We have the San Francisco top prosecutor, right? He has, I think it was 113 out of 131 domestic violence cases that he's just thrown out. And he has one right now where the man pushed a lady that was pushing a baby, hurt the lady, but then ended up killing the baby, right? And I think the guy is arrested right now. If I was reading this correctly, it's not in this article, but he's arrested right now on killing the baby. So it's like violent offenders, right? And I'm not knocking anybody for being violent in a case in point. If the situation, if you look at the story and it tells a good story and says, all right, this person was defending themselves or this person was dealing with this because of this, right? If you can find that, that's cool. We can look at that case. But violent offenders, man, they need prison. They need to go in there and they need to understand what they did was wrong. And if you start taking that away, then you'll just have a bunch of violent people out here. Does that make sense? Am I losing my mind? Because for me, a progressive DA isn't so much of not sending people to jail, right? It's getting people help. It's understanding that this group of people, these people right here, need help. We need to talk to these people. We need to come across and say, listen, why did you do what you did? If I had a DA at the time when I was doing everything that I was doing, they was like, nah, man, why'd you do what you do? And I had a chance, I had an opportunity, right? But I didn't take advantage of it, right? Because it didn't feel fun. It didn't feel right. A lot of the stuff that I was doing, it just felt fun. It was fun. We laughed, we joked, we had fun. So there wasn't a situation where you were looking at it and was like, oh, no, nah, he's definitely wrong for all this. And listen, we're going to have podcasts on the Cultivating Mature Positivity podcast. I'm going to talk to people that have been locked up, people that have done time, people that have, time. 18 years, one brother, right? Another brother, 5 years, another brother, 10 years, right? I'm setting this up so we can understand and have a better understanding of nonviolent crimes and violent crimes. Whether going to jail for 18 years helped him come home and understand that he's not doing that anymore, right? Listen, the first time I went out the county, it was fun. Compared to the last time I went out the county, I just wanted to go upstate and get it done. I was ready to come home, change my life. So it was like, my actions had a consequence, and I had to pay for that. So if with these progressive DAs now, right, and I get it, right, we're trying to find the best people to hand out punishment for crimes or say, listen, we need to change the way we do business. That's it. Let's sit down with the community. Let's sit down with leaders of the community and ask, how can we change the way we do business? Letting people go that have violence in their record, nah, it's not going to work. It's not going to work at all. You hear what I'm saying to you? It's not going to work at all. So let's try to be aware of the people that we're dealing with. Man, Macy's is closing 125 stores. Macy's is closing 125 stores. And you ask, why is this? I say it's because of Amazon and all of the places that we can now activate and shop on our phones. Macy's is closing 125 stores, man. That's crazy. And Texarkana, man, yeah, this is real. This is real. Fish. And it just looks crazy because it's only in the street. Why do fish only fall in the street? Fish falling from the sky is absolutely crazy. So it's called an animal rain. So it's like water spout hit the water and grabbed up the animals and just drops them on the head. So not soon, not no time soon. 125 stores. We're hoping they don't close too many in our area. These three jokers right here. These are the murderers of Ahmaud Arbery, and each one of them received life in jail. The father and son are going to jail. Let's see, Travis McMichael, 35, and his father, Gregory McMichael, and their neighbor, William Bryan, were convicted of murder and other counts in state court. Now they still have federal hate crimes, so they could be done. When Ahmaud Arbery was in the street, the father, he called him an asshole. And it's like Mr. McMichael had referred to Mr. Arbery as an asshole as his body lay in the street, and authorities responded. There's been no remorse and certainly no empathy from either man. So, yeah, the father and son, life, but they're trying to give William Bryan 30 years. And it's like these are the instances in our community, in our country, when we should come together, when we should ask questions, right? There's no real question as to whether or not they were wrong for what they did. This is a human life. Let's wipe color off the map. Let's just give everybody, the same color and say they killed someone. There has never been, in my recollection, a time where white people are speaking for black people as loudly as they are today. But we can't take that and say things are changing. We have to take that ball, you feel me, and run with it. We have to take that ball and continue to push for equality because we really haven't received it yet. I was locked up. I did a year and a half, and I was locked up with a young man, had the same charges I had. He went to drug rehab because he was white. Because his lawyer sat there and said, oh, he did this, that. Right, it was 7 years from my last conviction to my next conviction, and everything about me said junkie, bro. Like everything. Nothing about it said drug dealer. Nothing, nowhere. But yeah, go upstate, 18 to 36. I knew that already, right? Following my criminal background and the logs, it's like, all right, 18 to 36, let me get that. Already knew it before we went to court. So when it was offered, it was taken. I took it. I came home. I knew I wasn't going the fuck back. But now we have a situation where we have Caucasians, white people speaking up for us. And we can't allow this ball to hit the ground. We got to pick it up. We got to run it across. We have so many instances in our community where we have failed as a community to stick together, to come together, to show unity. And then that brings us to everything that we're dealing with today in the city of Chester. There's an article out right now, WHYY, and I'm going to come back to the DA situation, right? But I want to talk about this. In WHYY, they have an article out. It's on Facebook. We shared it. We talked about it. The city of Chester is facing bankruptcy, right? Like literally facing bankruptcy because of the actions of several different people. Now we can blame them, right? We can say you spilled the milk, but the thing is, how do we pick the milk up? So they were talking about it. They was like, all right, bankruptcy might be the best way for Chester to put his boots back on, right? The city is it's under receivership right now. It was under Act 47 before then. In 2020, Tom Wolf put it under receivership. The receiver's been here trying to find out the way to save the city, right? And for people to step up so we can get things done, right? So he's tried to eliminate this. It's like bankruptcy, basically. If you ever I never filed bankruptcy, but I watched it, right, in court, right? So you basically take all your debt and put it over here, right? And then they ask all the creditors, you feel me? Like, do you want this debt as a person? Do you want to keep this car? All right, keep the car. You got to lose this. You got to lose that. Try to find a way that you can live within your means, right? All of your income is put out there. Everything that you make, everything that you spend, everything that you keep is put out there. So that's what the city is about to go through. But also in this situation, we're looking at why this situation happened. And they're saying it's because of the police and the fire pension. Now let's understand what the pension is, right? So the pension basically is supposed to work like this, right? After you work 20 years for the city of Chester, you can retire, right? You can retire and get the last 3 years, right, put together and said, okay, he made $75,000. He averaged $75,000, and he could get that. But there was a way in 2009 that they just took the last year, and then they were offered overtime, right? Literally offered overtime to make their pension. So we have people collecting $114,000 in pension, $100,000 in pension. I would love a job like that I worked 20 years and I ain't got to work for the rest of my life. I'm getting paid $100,000 and I ain't got to go to work. And I'm 38. They saying you can retire at 38 years old with a $100,000 pension and live your life. That's crazy. You can start a business, have another business over on the side. And I'm not knocking nobody that does it, man, because I was once that person that played with some paperwork and got some things and got some. So I'm guilty as well but not doing that, right? So you've been caught. What is a person supposed to do when they're caught? Like, do you give the money back? Do you say, all right, y'all found me out. All right, just bring me back to my pension and All right, I'll take $75,000. $75,000 is a lot of money for someone young. Now, we have older retirees, you feel me? Like we have men that were on the force from the time I was in high school until recently, right? How do they answer? $75,000 is still a lot of fucking money. That's $3,000 a week, every 2 weeks. Literally. What do we do? Because if we don't find that money, then the city goes broke. Then the city's in bankruptcy court. Then the city can't. They said it's only like, what did they say? It's less than 4 months of benefits left. So less than 4 months of benefits, right? And they've paid over, I want to say $6.6 million. It's crazy. So in 2009, you know, they had a meeting and they sat and, you know, this is even before because Mayor Butler was on here, and the controller at the time was who the controller was, and they had a meeting and they talked about it, and they said someone is able to get more money than they're supposed to, but nobody changed anything. Nobody changed anything, and it's the one person that gets away with it that says, "Yo, I got $100,000. What? Oh, I'm retiring, right? So you got a mass flow of people retiring, right, and living out their dreams after serving our community. But if it's wrong, it's wrong, and it's almost criminal, right? Or is it not? Because someone set up something that allowed you to do something else. Is that not criminal? Like, are people not going? No, that's different than the PPP situation because you lied on that. So if you didn't lie, right, and you just retired and just worked your overtime, then there's nothing criminal in that situation, right? I would think, but it's still wrong. No, am I wrong? Like, let me know. I would love a job like that, though. I need that type of job, right? But it is the receiver's view that a loan objector to the pension change in 2009 was correct. There was no cost study done to measure the impact on the fund. The change was made in virtual silence. According to the receiver's legal counsel, who spoke with a number of individuals who could reasonably be expected to have knowledge of such an agreement, including the Act 47 coordinator at the time, and no one had any such knowledge. So somebody somewhere changed something and allowed for this to go on. And what I'm saying, though, if this is going on and this is breaking the city, and, you know, we have so many people that, you know, against, you know, Republicans, right, and saying that they're wrong and against, I think any political system where the other sides are fighting the way they fight, right, and we're losing as people, as regular people, lay people, right, losing, right, and we don't even make enough money to survive, and here you are making a lot of money to represent us, and you're up there fighting and arguing and bickering and going back and forth with each other is absolutely crazy. It doesn't make any sense to me for me to even keep you in that position because you don't know how to talk to people. You don't know how to relate to people. You don't know, like, you have to be a people person. You're serving the public. You are a public servant. So that means you should give yourself to your community, right? It shouldn't be about what you're making off with. You're getting paid. You got a car. You got all of these things. And this is not just the city council and the mayor here. This is higher than that. It goes all the way up, right? Because they're all beefing with somebody. Somebody doesn't like somebody for something else that somebody didn't sign or somebody else that somebody didn't agree with. And it's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. So the city of Chester, moreover, as filled with the state in 2011, Act 205, a review of financially distressed municipalities' pensions plans mandated by Pennsylvania still had the old pension calculation. So in 2011, they still had the old pension calculation and they weren't using the new one, and it didn't pop up until 2015. It wasn't until the 2015 Act 204 report that the city acknowledged the change. So we're talking about 6 years, right, from 2009 to 2015, where nobody said anything about this change. Nobody was even aware that the change took place. And they sat here and they said, you feel me, who was sitting in office? In April 22 of 2009, among those present at the meeting were former Republican Mayor Wendell Butler, who was previously a Chester police officer, and former city controller Delinda Carrero Poppy. So my question is, what happened? What was allowed to have happened for this pension to just blow up and go crazy? And who's gonna fix it? Right? The receiver's talking about bankruptcy. Like, there have been but in Pennsylvania, Harrisburg, as you know, was the last city to file for bankruptcy, but that was in 2011. And before that, also in Pennsylvania, Westfall Township also filed for bankruptcy. The last time a municipality filed for bankruptcy was Fairfield, Alabama. This is Pennsylvania. This is Chester, Pennsylvania. There are so many situations. So they're saying, we didn't sell off things. We didn't sell off retail properties. We didn't commercial properties. We didn't try our best, right? That's what they're saying about the current administration. Didn't try their best to get out of it. How do you get out of something that you didn't get yourself into? Like, how do you get out of something if you're not communicating with the other side correctly to say, listen, this is how we get out of this situation. This is how we move from A to B. Also in that article, I'm gonna hit up Kenny Cooper. He wrote the article. That's not Chester. That's Upper Darby, right? It's train tracks in the road. So I don't want people to just sit there and put a picture with an article if it doesn't represent us. The people sadly have to fix it because the people are the last resort. Politicians aren't personally responsible for their failures, right? I don't know. So bankruptcy might be the best way for us to fix the problem that we have. Bankruptcy might be the first way, like Adelaide say, to bring the debts to the table. All the debts to the table. When you do this, you have to talk to the community. Now I get it, right? There's 34,000 people in this community, and not everybody really cares about what's going on in the community. Because if we did care, we would come out and vote. If we did care, we would change things. You feel me? But I'm not knocking anybody for their beliefs, right? If you believe that voting doesn't count, I need you to stand over there to the side. Your voice doesn't count. Stand over there to the side. Do what you do. I'm not worried about what you're doing. I'm trying to move forward. I'm trying to just invigorate some people, right? Some young people that are in college right now, right? This is how the system works. Young people in college right now that want to come home and insert yourself and run and become a community member, become a community servant, serve your community, offer yourself to your community. This is how we change things. I'm a felon, so it's very hard for me to run for anything, and I don't want to run for anything, but I will support those that are running. I will ask the questions for the people of those who are running, and I will hold you absolutely accountable to your bullshit, bro, because I want to be held accountable to my bullshit. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, that's how I feel, right? Real quick, man, we're going to talk about these Eagles, man. The Eagles are playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Sunday. We're playing on Sunday, right? So shout out to the Eagles, man. We're in the playoffs. Wasn't really hype about that, but I'll take it. We're in the playoffs. All right, cool. The Chester Clippers, basketball, upcoming games. 111, which is tomorrow. Penwood at Chester at 5:30. All the home games. When it says Penwood at Chester, all those home games will be live on cmpradio.net, man. We will be there in the house, man. This is for the community, right? This is for us, man. And I don't want anybody to take anything that I'm saying less serious because I keep switching. This is my first time ever doing this by myself, and I don't know what I'm doing, right? So the radio station, cmpradio.net, is here for the community, right? If you want to come up here and you want to do a show, or you want to talk about the politics, or you want to talk about financial recovery, or you want to talk about money, or you want to talk about families, or you want to talk about situations, guess what? You can do that. You can absolutely do that. I have no problem with that, right? Let's sit down. Let's have a conversation. So back to these DAs, progressive DAs, right? Man, it was all right. So this is Mr. Bragg. He's the district attorney in Manhattan, in New York. This is Mr. Chaser Boudin, right? Right? And this is Mr. Larry Krasner, right? And these three men are what you call progressive DAs. And a progressive DA, right, is a person that wants to look at the way we handle crimes differently. So if we could look back, let's say 1988, and say we had progressive DAs then you would understand exactly what we want now. Nonviolent crimes, prostitution, these resisting arrest charges. And I agree with him there. He has a couple of situations that's like, yo, that's cool. There's no reason for me to file and prosecute in a resisting arrest charge if that's the only charge. Listen, I got beat up by the Chester Police Department, right? Not the Chester Police Department, like two cops, right? Who then one stole a gun, right, and came out and he gave a taser to somebody, and the other one, I don't know where he is. He probably retired and he's probably on that pension situation, right? But they whooped my ass, right? And they beat me up just because they could. I didn't have no drugs on me. I wasn't resisting. I put my hands behind my back. They whooped my ass. They locked me up, took me to the police station. At the time, Bibby was a cop, you feel me? Like, I knew cops, but I didn't know cops. Avery was a cop, right? Avery Freeman. Now, Avery Freeman booked me on my charges, right? And the charges was harassment, resisting arrest, right? Who was I harassing and who did I resist arrest? But they let me go at that moment. Bibby came in there and said, man, come on, get your stuff, man. You out of here, right? Let me go. I walked home. But at that point, I felt violated, right? I felt as though I should hire a lawyer. So I hired a lawyer from Philly, right? And I was on parole at the time, probation. I was on probation for my DUI arrest. I was on probation. I go to see my probation officer, and I got a warrant for my arrest. Now, the lawyer literally hit up the police department and asked, so when you start doing things that mimic criminals, it's criminal activity. So if you didn't charge me with the charge and I didn't meet a judge, if Avery Freeman had not taken my picture that day, you feel me, then they would not have known that I was there. So he took my picture, right? I got blood all on my face, you feel me? And this is for nothing. This is just because Battenary, I guess he didn't like my approach, how I was talking to the kids. It was a fight out there. I broke the fight up. I'm telling the kids to disperse. I'm not out there doing all the bad things, right? So, but at that point, he decided, you feel me, to beat me up, him and Officer Jackson, right? So they beat me up, took me, and I'm like, yo, what is y'all doing, man? I'm bleeding. Why y'all beat me up? And just the things that he said out of his mouth at that point just let me know, you feel me, it was political. At that moment, I was out and I was, pushing somebody to run, right? And putting their stuff out there because I believed in what they were doing, right? So it was political. All your uncles are junkie and all this other stuff. And I'm like, yo, what does that have to do with me? Why you beat me up? Why you being weird to me? Why you beat me up? Like, lock me up. He goes in there and says, man, you want to go to the hospital? If you go to the hospital, you feel me, you ain't going to see a judge till tomorrow. What the fuck, I'm not going to see a judge till tomorrow. Judge here all night. You going to lock somebody up, they're going to see a judge tonight. Like, you ain't going to see a judge till tomorrow if you go to the hospital. I'm just like, man, I don't care, man, whatever. Shut the door. You feel me? Because I'm pissed now. Baby come in there, let me go, give me my belt, give me everything, let me go. I hired a lawyer. I go to see my PO, and they lock me up, right? So now they lock me up. So now I'm sitting in the jail cell, and I'm like, yo, what is y'all doing? What's going on? My PO like, I ain't going to put no detainer on you. I'm going to let you go. You feel me? They let you go because this don't seem right. So I go in front. I'm down there in I guess, wherever they are, the little holding cell. It's been so long for me, I don't even know the names of things anymore. But I'm in the holding cell, I'm sitting down there, and I'm looking, and an officer comes up to me, and she brings me out. She was like, I got to book you on these charges. I said, I'm already booked on them charges. No, you're not. I'm already booked on these charges. I took my picture, everything's already in there, right? Put my name in, find it. No, you got to get booked on these charges. Pulls me out the cell, and me and her had an issue about this, right? And we talked about it, right? Because I felt as though at that point, if she's a cop, she's supposed to do what's right, right? But instead of that, she calls upstairs to Judge Seaton. So if the system at its root is wrong, then everything that it touches is wrong as well, right? I'm not locked up for no drug charges. I ain't hurt nobody. I ain't raped nobody. I ain't shoot nobody. I'm locked up because 2 cops decided to take their time out of their day and beat me up and then lie and say I did things that I didn't do. The next door neighbor, I went to her. I said, did I harass you? She was like, no, I was always respectful. I was a drug dealer, but I was a respectful drug dealer, bro. If I was out in front of somebody's house, yo, take that down the alleyway. Tell everybody, get from in front of her house, take it down the street. She pays taxes on this house, right? I was always there for that, right? It was always respect. Respect is given. Respect is given. You cannot take respect. There's no person alive that has ever taken respect. Respect is given, right? You give respect, you get respect. So I give respect. So respect is given to me. So I said to her, well, if I didn't harass you, why are they talking about I harassed you? Like, on my affidavit, everything. I know you harassed or you did. I didn't do any of those things. So fast forward, I'm in court. I'm thinking I got a lawyer. We gonna fight this thing. You feel me? Like everything's cool. No, he come to me, tell me take a deal. Like, what are you talking about? You don't want to fight this case? He's like, man, you can't beat this. What you mean I can't beat it? What do you mean? Like, this is important. This is a local joker. And at that point, I knew it was political. Again, he didn't want to upset nobody. He didn't want to fight the city. He was trying to do things. So I accepted the deal, paid the fine. I go upstate because I get locked up, right? About 6 months later, I'm pulled over in a car. You feel me? I got drugs on me. It's cool, right? I'm thinking I'm be able to talk my way out of it. No. Battenary jump on the joint instantaneously. Watch him. He'll hit you. So now the cop's on edge. He searched me, pat me down, find the drugs, lock me up. 18 to 36, right? So I'm upstate. I'm getting ready to come home. I think it was June I was coming home, so they came to see me in February. I got a letter from the lawyer. This is a federal case. I'm in federal court. I go to the federal building, right? The guards at the joint take me to the federal building. I'm like, damn, this is all right. It's cool. It's an outing for me. You feel me? I'm leaving jail. It felt good, right? I got to see my family. You feel me? Like a lot of things that I was doing at the time wasn't right. You feel me? So one of my witnesses was a young lady that I was dealing with. You feel me? And my wife was there. It was just the situation was just crazy, and I want to apologize for everybody, right? That I affected. Because at that point, I didn't care about anything but what I was getting, right? So we sitting there, everybody testified, but when I say these cops were in there so highly decorated, they look so nice. I'm like, wow. And they got me in upstate blues. I'm like, yo, I can't change my clothes. I can't put a shirt on. Like, you only got a white shirt and a tie for me to put on. Like, my wife brought my clothes. Can I put those on, right? So the judge allowed it to happen. So there was one black lady on the jury, and I never forget looking at her and the other people. They made her the foreperson. Literally, so she could come back, and they came back in 15 minutes. I was the biggest drug dealer in Chester. I was a menace. I destroyed this. I did this. I brought this up. But the only thing that we were in there fighting about was the fact that whether or not what they did was criminal. And we never got that chance because I was already a criminal. So we never talked about whether they did what was right, whether they did as police officers should do. Right? Serve and protect. So when we talk about progressive DAs, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about DAs that understand that everybody's human, right? The right and wrong, it teeters in us every day, right? You know, you want to sit there and look at the pension plan. That was absolutely wrong, but not illegal, right? You're not doing anything wrong, but you're doing wrong, but it's not illegal. So, you know, a progressive DA can sit there and be like, all right, and I don't know why. So the DA in San Francisco is cool on domestic violence. No, you shouldn't be cool on any violence at all. At all. If you're hurting children, women, family, son, go to jail. And I'll come and talk to you in a year. That's what you need to do. Go and talk to them in a year. You had a parole board and all that. So the way that we handle crime in America has to change. It has to shift. Right, because we understand that there are more people. We have the young kid in Wisconsin that drove. Now, the man that bought his gun is about to enter a plea and get some time. He bought the gun, but the person that pulled the trigger was found not guilty. we have those same exact crimes take place in this community. Person has a gun, other person has a gun, person doesn't like other person pulls out gun, other person pulls out gun, they shooting. That's self-defense. Is it not? Am I wrong? Right? Is that not what the boy in Wisconsin just did? Got proven not guilty. Larry Krasner, I don't know what's up with him. I don't know what he's trying to do. I know he's going after the police. Again, if we do not, and I'm not knocking not one cop, bro. I understand it's hard to be a cop. It's hard to put your life on the line every day. It's hard when you put that uniform on, whether you're going to make it out. I give so much credit to firefighters who do the exact same thing. When that alarm goes off, they get dressed. They don't think about it. They run into fires. They save people. That's what a cop is supposed to do. You're supposed to go into the most traumatic, hurting situations and save the people inside. But if your only concern is you, then you're not really a cop. You're just someone in a uniform. You have to care about people. Empathy. You have to have empathy. So for these progressive DAs, I feel as though empathy needs to be the first thing, right? They need to understand what they're doing. Let's look at nonviolent crimes first, right? Let's look at drug crimes, drug dealers. Most of the people that are selling drugs, right, if they're violent, they're only violent because it's another person across the street that's violent. You understand what I'm saying? Like you're doing what you're doing. You're making money. So you're a nonviolent offender. So from the beginning, that 5 to 10, that 25, no, now as you progress in dealing, as you grow in dealing, there comes a point where you have to ask yourself, if I can't murder nobody and I can't tell on nobody, that's where it was for me. I got to leave this alone because it was getting deep. It was getting real deep. And for me, it was like, yeah, I can't hurt anyone over drug money. I can't kill anyone over drug money, right? Because I can get it again tomorrow. Like, a loss is a loss. I understood that, right? You know, if I got robbed, all right, go rob somebody tomorrow. You feel me? Like, I can get my money back. Might not be my money, it might be his money, but, you know, it's my money coming back. So at no point should we be looking at nonviolent offenders, drug dealers, you know, pimps. I'm not going to say pimps because they beat on women, so no, right? So drug dealers and anything that has to do with that, right? Nonviolent crimes, right? DUI, you feel me? Leaving your kid in the car, you know, you just had a lapse of judgment, right? Let's talk about this, right? As long as the child didn't die, you feel me? You just had a lapse of judgment. So there, I think the DAs have a lot of wiggle room with me. This thing that he's trying to do, serious crimes may be reduced to misdemeanors, like a gun charge. You can resist arrest, deal drugs, obstruct arrest, and even carry a gun and get away with it, right? And this is what the police is saying, right? But we already know that, you know, all police are not. She says Braggs is sending the wrong message to murderers, muggers, and thieves. Murderers, muggers, and thieves. They're on the violent end. You have to be violent to be a murderer, right? In case-by-case basis, right? You can look at different cases and say, all right, this person is violent, or this person acted in self-defense. This person is sorry for what they did. This person is not, right? You can look at those cases right there. Like I could look somebody in the eyes and say, all right, yeah, you good. You feel me? I know that's not what you wanted to happen, but that was the only resort you had, right? That was the only result you had, right? Was to take his life because it was your life or his. So there are just so many situations where we look at these progressive DAs, and I understand it. They are needed, but not like this, right? They are needed, right? We got Krasner up in Philly. I don't think he's not getting along with the mayor up in Philly. They beefing. So, you know, like, you can't be in there beefing. We can't go left and right all the damn time. We going straight. We are going straight. So, and that about does it for me, man. That's 50 minutes with Uncle P, man. Remember, man, the Cultivating Mature Positivity podcast, man, we're going to be talking to people, you know, that, and we're going to be talking to people in the future We got an interview with Senator John Kane on the 27th. Want y'all to tune in for that, right? He was not a politician. He was a plumber. And doesn't come from the exact background that we all come from, but he comes from a struggling background, right? He had to struggle to get to where he is today. So how does he feel about becoming our senator? What is he going to do for our community, right? And how do we find out and help him get these things done, right? What can we do to help him? Again, man, I want y'all to understand just how important carrying a firearms was in some places. It still is a misdemeanor. Yeah, carrying a firearm. But if you pull that firearm out and you rob somebody, if you pull that firearm out and you shoot somebody, it's a felony. You know what I'm saying? So it's a misdemeanor. You are absolutely right, right? But again, how do we dance with that, right? If you have a gun, it's a misdemeanor. 1 gun, 2 guns, 3 guns. It should be a misdemeanor, right? Because now in this city, you're only carrying a gun because a joker across the street has a gun. Like literally, like you're only carrying a gun to protect yourself. You're not carrying a gun to be violent. You know what I'm saying? You're literally protecting yourself. No one has explained this to these young men out here that are running the streets, that they have a right to carry their guns, that they could go and get a gun license, that they don't have to do it illegally, that they don't have to play. But when you 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and you in that game, and the guy across the street got a gun, and this joker got a gun, and everybody got a gun, but you don't have no choice. So you got young men in the city of Chester that keep getting caught with guns, but they don't have no choice but to carry a gun. What do you say is their alternative for not carrying a gun? Like literally, what is their alternative? You don't want them to carry a gun. What is their alternative? Tell me. Like, give it to me, right? We can give them resources. We can tell them, they can get a job. They can go to work. They can go to school. You feel me? We're going to make sure we give all those resources to these young men that are getting caught with these guns, right? To change their their perception of guns, to change the way they view life. I can sit here and say I was a respect given. You feel me? I gave respect to everybody I dealt with. You feel me? Now, whether or not that respect was returned, that was something else. But I gave respect to everybody I ever dealt with, right? So I can never say that I hated anyone to the point where I would kill them. That's taking a life, right? I had an opportunity to join the Army, my first gun charge. The judge going to the Army. And I was like, all right, cool. Went, took the test, passed the test, did all that stuff. All right, yeah, you're going to be doing this with computers. And I ain't really know computers, but I ain't no dummy. So, but then I thought about it. You saying I'm going to kill somebody? I'm going to kill. Don't say, I'm good. I don't want to go. I take my 2 years probation. You feel me? How can we get them out of the environment where guns are prevalent? So, it's going to be hard. It's absolutely hard to get people out of an environment where guns are prevalent, because guns are prevalent in this community. And it's hard for someone. You're going to take them in, let them move in out Springfield and live in your house, right? It's hard. So you can't take them out of where guns are prevalent, right? But you can give them better resources to manage themselves. You can't sit here and say, these people are bad, and then just put them in jail and expect for them to change. Gun charge, receiving stolen property, DUI, cell charges. If I brought up my criminal background, it's about this thick, literally this thick. And I wasn't a bad person, right? I was having fun. Literally, I was having fun. So from age 17 to 26, I ran the streets. Never hurt anybody, never tried to hurt anybody, right? If I did hurt somebody, it was all in fun, right? I'm sorry, I apologize. I am truly apologetic. I'm truly apologetic for any pain that I have caused anybody through my life, because I didn't know what I was doing, right? I'm not going to make any excuses as to why I did what I did. I'm not going to sit here and say, yo, I didn't have a father, and I was looking for a father, and I ran into some men, and they were out there, and they were older than me, so I took what they said, and I ran with it, right? I can't say that, right? Bingo, to change the way we view life. Life seems disposable, so it's sad, even sadder hearing the gunfire, on the broken hearts that are about to follow. Absolutely, right? Absolutely, the broken hearts that follow. But everyone in this city has been affected by a gun, somehow, some way. Either shot, locked up, or killed. Everybody. Your cousin, your brother, your nephew, your son, your daughter, your grandmother, your aunt, your niece. Everybody in this community has been affected by the gun. So unless we change the way we deal with guns or the opportunities given to these young men, everybody in this city is special, bro. Like literally, man, I fight every day to try to figure out a way. I fight Corey fights, OGGO fights, Goob fights, man, Skip fights, like Charles Thompson fights, man, like every day to try to figure out a way to help our children, right? Literally, no one is sitting here just not doing anything. Everybody's trying to work it out their way, literally. But until we have more allies, until we have people that understand that this is just the way it works here in Chester. It works differently in Springfield. It works differently in Media. It works differently in Radnor. It works differently in Bala Cynwyd. In Chester, this is how this works. There's a saying, I'd rather be caught with it than without it. That saying ain't said out in Springfield. It's not said in Radnor. It's not said in Media. It's not said in Bala Cynwyd. It's said here in Chester. And that saying is stating, I would rather be caught with a gun than without my gun. Meaning I'd rather go to jail before somebody catch me slipping out here in the streets without my gun. And when you look at it like that, it's real simple. It's because everybody has one, right? That's why they carry them. It's not because they don't value life or they don't care about life, right? They haven't even gotten to the point, they're young men. You don't get to the point where you care about life until you're 25, 26 years old. When that brain kick on, yeah, I was tripping. Like literally, I was upstate when my shit kicked on. Literally, upstate, about to jump down and go to breakfast. And I said, oh shit, I was tripping. That whole day, I tried to figure out, why was I tripping? Like, what was wrong with me? Like, what was going on? Like, why was I doing that? And it never dawned on me that I was doing it because it was fun. I was doing it because this is what everybody else was doing. It never dawned on me that I could do better, that I could give better, that I could be better. Until that moment in that jail cell. And a lot of people, guess what? They're so entrenched in their life that they don't see better. I come from a family, right? My cousins was judges. My uncle was a lawyer. My aunt worked for, IBM. My father worked for Philip Morris. These are big name companies, right, that employed people in my family. So I don't know what it's like to struggle. I do know when I went to the West Side that everybody didn't have all the things that I had. And then when my father died when I was 12 years old, right, struggle started to come, right? There was still money there, but it wasn't being spent in the right way. There was still opportunity there, but it wasn't being handled the way it was supposed to be handled. So the ball was dropped. So then I have to pick up the ball because I'm the only man in the family, right? I have to pick up the ball and I have to run. And the only ball I knew was selling drugs. The only ball that made any sense to me, because I'm getting off the bus after working, you feel me? And I just cashed my check. I got a little $365 in my joint, and my cousin pull out a knot like this. Right? A knot like this and say, man, you tripping. Come with me. And that was it. Now, before then, it was a little weed I was selling, but then once I got involved with the white girl, it was a wrap, bro. But I promised myself when I came home from jail, I would never touch her again because she called the cops on me. Every time I touched her, bro, she was calling the cops on me. So I said, nah, I'm good. I'm good. It became just weed for me, right? And then weed started to blow up and started to go crazy. So at some point, there comes a time in your life where you have to say, I can't continue to do the same thing I was doing before. And you have to change. And that's a personal situation. That's you personally changing, you personally demanding more of yourself. I try to give hope every day, bro. Like, that's not for everybody. That's for me. When I put them posts on Facebook, that's for me to tell myself that I can keep on going, because this is hard. It's absolutely hard to come from a lifestyle where you have everything that you need and you want to a lifestyle where you can do so much and get so little in return. An honest lifestyle is a hard lifestyle. An honest lifestyle is a rewarding lifestyle, though, right? Because my kids get to see this different part of me, a part of me that they never saw before, right? And I get to grow up in this situation. Man, there are things that I want to do, man. I want to go back to school. I want to get my degree in whatever it is, whatever I want to go to school for. I want to challenge myself, right? But I can't do that until I'm able to do that, right? I'm not going to say I can't do it, but I'm going to say until I'm able to do that, I can't do it. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in, man. I told you I only keep y'all for an hour. It's 11 o'clock. I got to head out to media, get some things done. I definitely appreciate everybody, man, for tuning in. I want to challenge you so much, man, every day, man. You know, don't work with emotions. I'm asking y'all. I'm pleading with y'all, right? Talk about your problems. Communicate about your issues. Talk to your girlfriend, right? Talk to your baby mom. Talk to your boyfriend. Talk to your brother. Talk to your father. Talk to your sister. Talk to your aunt. Talk to your mom. Talk to the members of your community constantly. That's the only way we make progress. It's the only way we move forward. If we're not communicating, then what are we doing? If we're not talking about what pisses us off, what irks us, what are we doing? We're walking around hurt, and we're working with emotions. Don't work with your emotions, man. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, man. Literally, like, this is crazy. And this podcast is gonna continue to keep going, man. We're not gonna stop, man. This is just the beginning. Be on the lookout for, Uncle P and the OG in the morning, man. We're gonna bring that back soon as Gio feels better, man. As soon as he comes out from under this. And listen, man, COVID is real. COVID ain't going anywhere. COVID is going to be around for the rest of our lives, right? It's a respiratory infection, right? Literally. So it's like, flu part 2. They could have just named it that, but they wanted to give it a bigger name, right? Shut the world down, everything. And listen, they did everything they could. You can't knock a government entity for anything, but it's hard to fight nature. Things evolve. Sicknesses get worse, right? Things evolve. So this virus is mutating, different variations. Right now we're dealing with the Omarion variation. You feel me? I'm just joking. This situation ain't going nowhere. COVID, it's not going anywhere. We will not be able to eradicate it, right? If you believe that a vaccine is what's best, do that. If you believe that you're not going to allow anything in your body, do that. Be yourself. Be true to yourself. Honor yourself. Honor the people around you. Wear a mask if you're not going to get vaccinated. Double mask if you're not going to get vaccinated. If you are going to get vaccinated, wear your mask. This mask ain't going nowhere. It's here. It's here to stay. So go to the store, dollar store, buy yourself some KN95s or RN65, whatever the mask is called. Bottom joints, you feel me? And protect yourself. Protect your family. It's cold season. It's flu season. I'm a little congested, but it's not COVID. I would think with COVID, your chest would hurt, right? It's an upper respiratory infection. SARS, is it not? All right. Okay. CMPRadio.net. It's your boy, Uncle P, man. I appreciate y'all for sitting there with me, man. I want y'all to understand, man, we can't change anything unless we understand what can be changed. Bankruptcy to the city of Chester. I say go ahead. I say put all the debts on the table, let's understand it, and let's move on from there, right? The city didn't just start falling apart the last 12 years, right? The city has been falling apart. We have 34,000 people in this city. 34,000 people in this city. Until we come together, until we stop beefing, until we stop fighting, until we stop hurting each other, our voices will never be heard. Unity. I don't care if it's just in your neighborhood. If we take every project in every neighborhood and we say, all right, in your neighborhood, is there a leader in your neighborhood that you respect? Right, all right, well, listen to him. He's saying we vote. We get 20,000 votes. That's more than any other county, any other city, any other municipality in Delaware County. We can take the seat back. We could be who they have to come to and who they have to answer to when they're running. 20,000 votes? You don't think so? I'm telling you. I've been watching this stuff for the past 14, 15 years, bro. Like, damn, like, we can have so much. What do we need? We need a rec center with a pool. I want an Olympic-sized swimming pool. We need that. We need a rec center with computers in it, with laptops in it, with motherfucking Wi-Fi in it for the kids that don't have Wi-Fi. There are people that do not have the basic necessities, and this is why they give anger, hostility, frustration, and they're upset. Yo, man, I love y'all on purpose, man. I don't want y'all to think I don't, right? CMPradio.net, you already know, man. Hit us up at the GoFundMe, man. Keep CMPradio.net alive in your pocket, man. Send us a couple dollars, you feel me? I appreciate you, you know what I mean? Listen, man, you know, passion drives purpose, man. We're not playing no games, man. It's CMPradio.net. It's your boy, Uncle P. Be on the lookout for this podcast. Don't know when it's going to start. For right now, it's going to be, you feel me, until OGGO is healthy and he's back and we can do our thing together. We have to come up here. So I'm going to come up here for an hour, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and keep talking to you. As soon as OGGO is back, we're going to start our thing, man. It's CMPradio.net. Remember, man, I am a community optimist. I see positivity in everything. I see positivity in you. I see positivity in you. I see positivity all around us, bro. We have to see that. Because if we don't see it, then we see negativity. And then we get to acting crazy. So I want to give a big shout out to Amino Guns, man. Dropped his album Priceless, man. Go on Apple Music, Spotify. I'm sure it's everywhere. He has a great song. I'm going to support all of the artists from the city of Chester. Listen, if you know an artist, give them my info. Info at cmpradio.net, man. Send me your song. Send me your album playlist. Send me your album cover, right? And so I could put it on the app, man. Live 365, Chester Music. We play it. It runs. Let's go, man. It's cmpradio.net. It's your boy, Uncle P, man. Reminding y'all, man, please be safe, be courteous, and be respectful. I'm out of here. Peace.
Just don't ever lie. Just don't and don't ever tell. I'm giving them hope. You giving them hell. You fill it with pride. Then you sit in the jail. I give them a dream, I said, and you never fail. Just don't ever lie. Just and don't ever tell. Put it in your pocket for they come and pocket you, nigga. That's when they sit you on your pocket with a Glock to you, nigga. He ran out of time, ain't make it to the hospital, nigga. His body cold, the stick inside him. He a popsicle, nigga. It always be the ones like guns, you know I got you, my nigga. That fuck around and rock you, and I ain't talking fossils, my nigga. They fuck around and pop you, and I ain't talking sock you, my nigga. I'm talking blood up on the floor, they gotta mop you, my nigga. I'm from a city where it's 2 schools, one you gotta go. Imagine if you had a funeral and don't nobody show it, gotta hurt. Even when you die, your baby mama heard you dead, she ain't even cry. Now who gon' raise your son? They ain't gon' teach him how to read, but how to raise a gun. They got him standing on the corner in the blazing sun. You know, when it's summertime, the Lord is taking some. It might just be your family that he taking from. I'm giving them hope, you giving them hell. You fill it with pride, then you send them to jail. I give them a dream, I said, and you never fail. Just don't ever lie. And don't ever tell. I'm giving them hope. You giving them hell. You fill it with pride. Then you sit in the jail. I give them a dream, I said, and you never fail. Just don't ever lie. And don't don't ever tell. Yeah, I'm giving them hope, they said I would fail. Whoever thought they see a nigga prevail, they probably rather see me down bad, how bad, 6 feet or sitting in cells. I'm pivoting well, like I'm MB, round the rim, please give him the pill. Shit so vivid, it could give him the chill. I ain't talking, I done did it for real. Never roll with a squad, a nigga scrawny nigga, but I've been a problem, nigga. If I spot him, then I'm on him, little shorty with the big 40, spinning corners with it. Had the boss up so I could pardon niggas. How they co-signing corny niggas, fuck your top 5, hit the top spot, not mine, I bomb on all them niggas. I'm giving them life jewels that can sit with them right moves and envision and put you in the right place, right time, link with the right dudes. Now you getting it from $1 in a dream of flying out to see if the price cool on some business shit, ice cool. But I did this shit not to mention you can't live in it. Then I realized that the property's better, the margin of profit is better. Get you a drop, nigga, cop it with leathers, and I'ma spend mine like Monopoly cheddar. Yeah, from the boardwalk to the park place, I'ma grind hard till we all straight. From a peasant to a king to a legend, and you know we did it all way. I'm giving them hope, I'm giving them hope. You giving them hell, you giving them hell. You fill it with pride, you fill it with pride. Then you send them to jail, I'll give them a dream, I said, and you'll never fail. Just don't ever lie, just don't and don't ever tell. I'm giving them hope, you giving them hell. You fill it with pride, then you send them to jail. I'll give them a dream, I said, and you'll never fail. Just don't ever lie.